The dining room glows under the chandelier, glass and silver perfectly arranged. My mother moves like a director, adjusting plates, counting spoons, perfecting scenes. Father pours himself a drink, laughter echoing through the wide, immaculate space. My brother Hai sits at the end of the table, confident, smiling, the golden sun. He just landed another major contract with a defense company. Everyone knows it. Everyone praises him for it. My mother leans close, whispering about my clothes, her voice dripping with politeness. You could wear something brighter tomorrow, dear. Appearances matter in business. I nod, offering no defense, no argument. Father clears his throat, ready to make a toast. To success, he says, raising his glass toward Hai, not even glancing at me. Hai laughs, pretending modesty he doesn't feel. His watch gleams under the light, expensive, perfect, effortless. My glass stays on the table, untouched. The wine smells like old expectations. I taste nothing but distance. Father begins talking about the meeting tomorrow, how crucial it is. The military will send their own people, he says. We must impress them. I take another sip, the irony bitter and beautiful on my tongue. If only he knew. Mother turns to me, her tone half sweet, half sharp. Maybe you could help set the table tomorrow morning. Keep busy. I smile. Yes, Mom, I'll be busy. Hai chuckles softly, flipping through his notes. You still doing that tech thing in the army, right? He asks. Something with computers, something unimportant. The words hang between us like a curtain. Yes, I answer simply. Still doing that. He grins, turning back to Father. Anyway, the private sector is where the real innovation happens. Their laughter fills the room again. The chandelier trembles with the sound. My fingers tight around the napkin in my lap. The swan shape collapses silently under my hand. Mother reaches for my plate. You're not eating much, sweetheart. Nervous. I shake my head, forcing a smile that feels like armor. Just not hungry tonight. The conversation moves on without me, smooth and familiar. They talk of profits, partnerships, prestige. Not purpose. Not service. Not sacrifice. When dessert comes, I decline politely. Father raises a brow, but doesn't press. They think I'm fragile, unpredictable, still chasing childish dreams. Let them. Tomorrow will change everything. When I stand before them in uniform, truth will speak louder than blood. But for now, I sit quietly, memorizing their laughter. The performance must go on until the final act. Mother hums as she clears the plates. Father refills his glass, satisfied with his perfect family. Hai checks his phone, glowing under his self-made spotlight. I rise from my chair, excusing myself with practiced calm. Long day, I say. No one stops me. No one asks where I'm going. Upstairs, the house hums with silence and pride. In my room, I unzip the suitcase and touch the fabric waiting inside. Tomorrow, they will see me. Not as their disappointment. Not as their forgotten daughter. But as the woman who earned every star they refused to notice. The alarm rings at 5:30, cutting through the silence of the house. I wake before the sun, body trained for order, mind steady as steel. Steam rises from the shower, warm against the chill of early morning air. The mirror fogs, then clears, revealing a face both familiar and foreign. 6 years of service stare back at me from my own reflection. I unbutton the garment bag, fabric crisp, untouched since the ceremony. The dark blue uniform gleams softly under the light. Medals line the chest like small suns, each one earned, not given. I pin the silver eagles on my shoulders, steady hands, no tremor. The weight feels right. Not heavy. Deserved. I tie my hair with regulation precision, no strand left free. A soldier's routine brings calm where words never could. Downstairs, I hear faint voices, forks against china, the sound of comfort. I walk toward it, each step deliberate, controlled, final. Mother looks up first, her hand frozen midair, spoon dripping coffee. "What on earth are you wearing?" she breathes. "My uniform," I answer. Father lowers his newspaper, eyes narrowing with disbelief. "You can't be serious," he mutters. "You're not going to that meeting dressed like that." "I'm required to," I say. "It's protocol when representing the Defense Department." The room stills. My brother's fork clatters against his plate. "Representing the what?" he stammers. I check my watch. "Leave in 10 minutes if you want to arrive on time." No one moves. Mother forces a smile that trembles at the corners. "You look official, dear," she says softly. No, she means intimidating. High straightens his tie, pale beneath his perfect tan. "Don't make this awkward, Min. It's a business event, not whatever this is." I pour coffee into a travel mug, ignoring the sting in his tone. "I understand the nature of the meeting," I reply. Father stands, voice clipped. "You're walking into a boardroom, not a battlefield." I meet his gaze without flinching. Discipline works in both. The drive is quiet, thick with unspoken tension. Leather seats creak beneath polished manners and hidden fear. High flips through his note cards, rehearsing numbers, jargon, control. Mother keeps adjusting her bracelet, eyes darting toward me, then away. Father clears his throat. "Try to behave with professionalism today," he says finally. I almost laugh. "I'll do my best." The building rises ahead, all glass and ambition. Stellar Industries, my family's empire of pride. Security greets us at the door, then pauses, eyes on me. "Good morning, Colonel Min." The salute snaps sharp, respectful, unquestioning. Father stops mid-stride, confusion flickering across his face. The receptionist stands too, smiling nervously. "Your team has arrived, Colonel. Conference room A is ready." My family freezes in place. High whispers, "Your team." I nod once. Let's not keep them waiting. Two officers approach, tablets in hand, posture straight as steel. "Preliminary scans complete, ma'am," one says. I return the nod. "Good work, Captain," begins setup. The corridor stretches before me, glass walls reflecting shocked faces. For the first time, I walk ahead of them. Not as their daughter. Not as their shadow. But as the woman they never thought I could become. The boardroom smells of polished wood and control. Every chair gleams under the ceiling lights, waiting for power to fill them. Executives murmur greetings, unaware the air is about to shift. I enter first, boots silent on the marble floor, uniform immaculate. The CEO rises immediately, her handshake firm, voice warm. "Colonel Min, we're honored to have you here in person." Her words land heavy in the stunned silence behind me. I glance back. My father's expression cracks for the first time in years. My brother's hand trembles around his notes. He forces a laugh that dies before it reaches his eyes. "Colonel," he echoes, unsure if he misheard. The CEO turns to him, smiling politely. "Your sister's unit has been reviewing our project for months. Her insights are highly valued by the Pentagon." My brother's throat tightens. "I didn't realize," he says weakly. "Few do," I reply, taking my seat at the head of the table. Father hovers near the door, still trying to control the narrative. "Let's begin," I say, opening my folder with precision. The presentation starts. High walks to the screen, voice strained but steady. He clicks through slides about encryption, systems, success. For a moment, I almost feel sorry for him. Then he says the word, impenetrable. The flaw appears like a wound, only I can see. "Pause," I say calmly. He freezes mid-sentence. "There's an issue in your key generation protocol." The room turns. High blinks, stammering. "That's not possible, we tested it." "You tested the wrong model," I answer. "Your algorithm is vulnerable to timing analysis." I type a command on my tablet, numbers spilling across the screen. Data flows like a confession. Executives lean forward. The CEO frowns, intrigued, not angry. "You caught this already?" she asks. "Yes," I reply. 3 weeks ago, during the initial assessment. High's voice cracks. "That's why the military team requested revisions." I nod once. His hands fall to his sides, notes forgotten. Silence expands between us, filled with everything unsaid. Father clears his throat, trying to salvage pride. "Well, I'm sure adjustments can be made." The CEO cuts him off gently. "With Colonel Min's guidance, absolutely." Her tone holds respect, not doubt. For the first time, I see Father hesitate before speaking. He sits down slowly, words gone. I turn back to the team. "The vulnerabilities are fixable," I say. "But your approach must evolve to meet next-generation threats." Heads nod around the table. The respect in the room feels tangible. High looks at me, not as a sister, not as a rival, but as authority. He whispers, barely audible, "You saved this contract." "No," I answer softly. "I did my job." The meeting continues, efficient, focused, clean. When it ends, applause is polite, but the energy has changed. I gather my documents, standing tall, composed. Father's pen rolls off the table. He doesn't bend to pick it up. The silence that follows feels heavier than any medal I've worn. For 6 years, they saw me as a child chasing illusions. Now they see me for what I am. And it terrifies them. The door closes behind the last executive, sealing us in silence. Only family remains, surrounded by glass and disbelief. My father stands first, face red, voice tight with control. "Explain yourself," he demands, tone sharp enough to cut glass. I stay seated, posture still unshaken. "There's nothing to explain. I did my duty." He slams his hand on the table. "You humiliated your brother in front of his own team." I meet his eyes. "I corrected a security flaw that could have cost millions of lives." "That's not your place," he snaps. "It was exactly my place," I reply. "The Pentagon doesn't send amateurs to lead reviews." My mother clutches her pearls, eyes wide, trembling. "You never told us any of this," she whispers. "You never asked," I answer, voice calm but steady. High sits slumped in his chair, his confidence shattered. "You ambushed me," he says quietly. "You turned this into a power play." I shake my head. "It wasn't personal, it was professional." He laughs bitterly, rubbing his temples. "Of course you'd say that." I lean forward, my words precise, deliberate. "When I joined the Air Force, you all called it a phase. When I made captain, no one called it all. When I was promoted to colonel, I stood alone on that stage. My voice doesn't break, but the air around me does. You wrote Christmas cards, celebrating every one of High's contracts. I got one line, still serving overseas." My father flinches, but says nothing. I continue, unstoppable now. "I spent 2 months in a military hospital after Syria. Shrapnel tore through my shoulder. No one visited. No one even knew." Mother gasps softly, covering her mouth. "You were hurt." "Yes," I say. "I was hurt long before that." Father paces the room, avoiding my gaze. "You should have told us," he mutters. "I did," I say. "You just didn't listen." The words hang heavy, too sharp to ignore. I reach into my bag, pulling out a small photo. It shows my unit, smiling, medals gleaming in the desert sun. "These are the people who stood by me when you didn't. These are the ones who celebrated my victories." High looks at the photo, guilt flickering across his face. "I didn't know," he says finally. "I couldn't see what you'd become." "Because you never looked," I reply. Mother wipes her eyes, mascara staining her handkerchief. "I was afraid," she admits. "I thought you'd never come back." "I almost didn't," I whisper. Silence again, the kind that feels like an ending. I gather my papers, sliding them neatly into my folder. The review will continue, I say, businesslike. Revisions due by Friday. Hai rises halfway from his seat, lost for words. Father tries to speak, but the authority in his voice is gone. I straighten, uniform perfect, heart steady. I never wanted your approval, I say. Only your respect. Then I turn toward the door, leaving the wreckage of pride behind. For the first time in years, I walk away without apology. 3 weeks pass before I return to the company grounds. The sky is pale with Oregon light, calm after a storm. This time I park in the visitor's lot, not the family space near the entrance. Small rebellions matter. The badge around my neck reads Colonel Min, visible, unapologetic. Inside, the receptionist greets me with an easy smile. Good morning, Colonel. They're waiting for you in the Phoenix room. Her tone carries respect, not surprise. Word has spread. In the elevator, the mirrored walls reflect someone I finally recognize. Not the daughter who used to shrink in silence. Not the soldier seeking validation. Just a woman who knows her worth. The doors slide open on the top floor. My father is packing the hall, phone pressed to his ear. He looks older, smaller somehow. When he spots me, his conversation falters. I'll call you back, he says, ending the call mid-sentence. The board's been asking about you, he admits. They didn't know my daughter sits on the Pentagon's Cyber Council. I tilt my head. You never asked what I actually do, I reply. The words land softly but sting. He looks away first. Inside the conference room, my brother's waiting, sleeves rolled up. He doesn't wear his usual arrogance. Just fatigue. Relief flickers across his face when he sees me. Thanks for coming, he says. We've been stuck for hours on the new protocol. I take the empty seat beside him. Show me. For the next 40 minutes, we work side by side. He listens, takes notes, asks real questions. No rivalry, no ego. His team glances between us, unsure how to process the shift. When the algorithm finally runs clean, he exhales deeply. You make this look easy, he says. It's just experience, I reply. He shakes his head. No, it's brilliance. The elevator ride afterward is quiet. For once, it isn't awkward. He looks at me, half smile tugging at his lips. I used to think you were wasting your life, he confesses. Now I just wish I'd paid attention. Before I can answer, the CEO steps into the hall. Colonel Min, she says warmly, extending a hand. Lunch, without your father this time. I nod. Later that evening, I drive to my parents' house. The lights glow through the kitchen window. My mother stands at the counter, a magazine open in front of her. On the page, my face, my story, my name. I found this at a friend, she says softly. She's been keeping articles about you for years. Her eyes shimmer with something like pride. I don't speak. She turns the page, tracing my photo with careful fingers. Why didn't you tell us? Would it have changed anything? I ask quietly. She flinches, then sighs. Maybe not then, but it does now. In the living room, my father sits at his desk. He slides a framed article across the wood. I put this on the refrigerator, he says. The headline reads, Colonel leads cyber defense breakthrough. He looks up, voice unsteady. I should have known sooner. The silence between us isn't cold anymore. It's fragile, but it's a beginning. The morning sun spills through the glass of my apartment in Seattle. 6 months have passed since the review that changed everything. The city hums below, steady, alive, indifferent to old wounds. My desk is lined with photos, faces of soldiers, friends, my real family. Each frame tells a story of loyalty earned, not inherited. At 11 sharp, the doorbell rings. I already know who it is. Old habits die with punctual precision. When I open the door, my father stands awkwardly, hand half raised. For a second, he seems ready to salute. Then he hesitates, lowering it into an uncertain hug. "Cassandra," he says quietly. Behind him, my mother clutches a ceramic box, her old peace offering. "I brought cookies. You used to love these." Her smile wavers, fragile but real. My brother steps in last, no tailored suit, no tie. Just jeans and tired eyes. "No Victoria?" I ask. He shakes his head. "Some bridges stay burned," he says simply. We move into the living room, sunlight spilling across the floor. The walls are lined with medals, books, and memories. They look around, taking in a world they never bothered to imagine. My father sits carefully on the couch, posture still formal. "This is quite a view," he murmurs. "That's not why you're here," I answer softly. He exhales, shoulders dropping. "No," he says, "it's not." His voice cracks slightly when he continues. "I was wrong, Cassandra, about you, about everything." My mother sets the cookies down, her hands trembling. "I should have stood up for you," she whispers. "When you called from training, I should have been proud, not afraid." Her eyes glisten. "I thought distance meant losing you." I swallow the knot rising in my throat. My brother stares at the floor. "You didn't need our approval," he says. "That's what scared me. You were already strong." He looks up, finally meeting my gaze. "I'm sorry for treating you like competition." The words hang between us, fragile as glass. I nod slowly. "This isn't about blame anymore," I say. "It's about what comes next." I bring out a photo album, its leather cover worn smooth. Inside are faces of soldiers, engineers, people who became my family. "That's Captain Reed," I say. "He saved my life twice." My father studies the photo, silent awe in his eyes. "You worked with General Harmon?" he asks, almost incredulous. "I report directly to him now," I reply. The realization settles over him like sunlight through clouds. For an hour we talk, really talk. No business, no expectations. Just the truth of who we've all become. Mother asks about the bases, the food, the people. Father listens, not as a critic, but as a man relearning pride. When they leave, the apartment feels lighter. Not empty, peaceful. Later that week, I visit their home again. The gravel crunches under my tires, familiar but different. In the dining room, my portrait hangs beside my brother's. Not hidden. Equal. Mother smiles when she sees me notice. "The silver frame suits your uniform," she says. Father adds quietly, "It suits the honor behind it." For the first time, I believe him. We sit together, the world no longer divided. Some battles end not with victory, but with understanding. And for me, that is enough. Autumn settles quietly over the old house. The roses bloom again, soft against the chill morning air. Gravel crunches beneath my boots as I walk up the familiar path. My father is in the garden, pruning the roses with careful precision. He looks up when he sees me, and this time he smiles without performance. "Perfect timing," he says. "I wanted your opinion on something." Inside his study, a new document waits on the desk. A partnership between his firm and the Defense Department. He slides it toward me, eyes steady, humble. "I could use your expertise," he says simply. Before I answer, my brother appears at the door, laptop in hand. "Got the new draft ready," he says. "You'll want to see the encryption model." We work together for an hour, no tension, no rivalry. Only focus, respect, and quiet rhythm. When I rise to leave, my father stops me. "Your mother, hanging your portrait in the hall," he says softly. "The place of honor." I step outside, sunlight glinting off my badge. For years I fought to be seen. Now I no longer need to fight. The house behind me feels different. Not perfect, but finally home.